Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I hope you are all ready to participate with me and help me a little bit here, because I have a donkey in this story, and every time you hear about the donkey whose name is Nellie, I'd like you to all go, hee-haw!
Hee-haw!
Oh, that's good. Let's try it one more time.
Hee-haw!
Good job. Okay. Rumble, tumble, bumble, bumble, crash! A great big rock came bounding down the mountain, smashed two trees, and landed right in the middle of the road. Oh, and Common John and his donkey, Nellie, were walking along the road. And Common John saw that big rock and he said, "Holy cow! There's a great big rock in the road out there, and it fell down the mountain and it gave me quite a scare." And the donkey went, "Yee-haw! Well, donkey, we gotta get to the king and tell him about that big rock in the road, because nobody can get by and nobody will be able to come to the kingdom." So Common John and Nellie, the donkey, ran just as fast as they could back to the kingdom, and they knocked on the palace door. And the chamberlain came to the palace door and said, "What is wanted?" And Common John said, "Holy cow! Oh, we gotta tell the king there's a rock in the road and nobody can get by. Holy cow!" And the chamberlain said, "Wait a moment and I will bring the king." So he did, and in just a few minutes the king appeared. And the king said, "What would you like?" And Common John said, "Holy cow! There's a great big rock in the road out there, and it fell down the mountain, and it gave me quite a scare." And the donkey went, "Yee-haw!" Well, the king said, "A rock in the road? Who's responsible for this? I'm going to find out who. I know somebody's responsible. Let me think for a minute. I know, Alvin, it's the wizard. The wizard, he's always in trouble. Chamberlain, bring in the wizard." Well, not long after that, the wizard did come in and said to the king, What do you want, king?" Then the king said, "Listen to Common John." And Common John said, "Holy cow! There's a great big rock in the road out there, and it came down the mountain, and it gave me quite a scare." And the donkey went, "Hee-haw! And the wizard said, But what does this all have to do with me?" "Do you know anything about that rock?" "No, I don't know anything about any silly rock, and why are you asking me all these questions?" "Well, I gotta know who is responsible, and I think the who is you." And the wizard said, "Me? Why do you think it's me?" "Because you predicted the weather a little while ago, and you predicted a great big rainstorm, and I think the rain came down the mountain and loosened that rock out, and the rock landed right in the middle of the road." And the wizard said, "You're right, king. I did predict a rainstorm. But you know what? The rain never came. The prediction was wrong. It's been dry here for a whole month." "Oh, that's a problem. Well, I want to know who's responsible." "I know, king, but I'm the wizard, and it's my job to know how, not who." "Oh, well, if not you, then who is responsible?" "Well, I don't know, but maybe you should try the royal scribe." "The royal scribe?" "Yes, he writes records of everything. He might know something about this." "Oh, the royal scribe. Well, you can go. Chamberlain, bring in the royal scribe. So, not long after that, in came the royal scribe, and the royal scribe said, "Oh, king, now what is it you want?" Then the king said, "Listen to Common John." Common John said, "There's a great big rock in the road out there, and it fell down the mountain and it gave me quite a scare." Oh, and the donkey went, "Hee-haw!" Now what do you think about that, scribe? Well, what does this all have to do with me? Well, you're the scribe and you write down everything that happens. Yes. Well, has anything like this happened before? Well, yeah, king, we did have an avalanche a few years ago, and it blocked the road, and there was rocks, and there was dirt all over the place. Huh! I knew it! I'm looking for who, and I think the who is you! But king? Yes? That happened 5 years ago. And I don't know of anything that's happened since. You see, king, it's my job to know when, not who. Well, if not you, then who? Well, maybe you should contact the royal commander of the army. For it was him that brought in the troops and removed the rocks and removed the dirt that were caused by the last avalanche. Oh, good idea. You could go. Chamberlain, get me the royal commander of the troops. And so the chamberlain did. And not long after that, in came the royal commander of the troops, and he said, "King, I'm here. What is it you want?" "Well, listen to Common John." Common John said, "There's a great big rock in the road out there, and it tumbled down the mountain, and it gave me quite a scare." Oh, and the donkey said, "Hee-haw!" Well, the commander of the royal troops said, "What does this have to do with me?" "Well, I think there's someone responsible for all this, and since you were at the last avalanche, I think the who is you." "Me? But king, I'm the commander of the royal troops, and we did this 5 years ago. We removed everything 5 years ago." "I know, but you know all about it, so the who must be you." "No, king, no. I don't know anything about this. My job is to know where things happened, and we moved all of that dirt, and we knew exactly where it happened." "Then if not you, then who?" "Well, king, the only person I know who knows all the who's would be the royal holy man. He knows who and what and why." "Oh, the royal holy man. Good idea. You can go. Chamberlain, bring in the royal holy man." So the chamberlain did, and in came the royal holy man, and he said, "Oh, king, what can I do for you?" "Well, listen to Common John." And Common John said, "There's a great big rock in the road out there, and it fell down the mountain, and it gave me quite a scare." Oh, and the donkey said, "Hee-haw!" "Well, what do you think about that, holy man?" "Well, king, I don't know what it is you want. What does this have to do with me?" "Well, you know everyone. You know all the who's, so it must be that the who I'm looking for is you." "Oh, king, I know many who's, but I also know many whats and whys. And most of the time, we worry more about the whats and the whys than we do the who's." Oh. Well, I think the who is you. If not you, then who? What are we going to do? I'm getting really upset about this whole thing. "Well, king, I tell you what. Why don't we all go back to the canyon and look at the rock, and maybe we'll get some ideas. Why, that's just so crazy. Maybe it'll work. So they did. The king and Common John and the donkey and the holy man all went back to the canyon to see the rock. And when they got there, Common John looked at that rock and he said, "Oh, there's the great big rock in the road out there, and it fell down the mountain and it gave me quite a scare." And the donkey went, "Yee-haw!" And the king said, "I know there is a rock, but who is responsible? Who did this?" And Common John said, "I would really like to know. I would really like to know who and how and why and where and what and when. I want to know everything. But I just want to know who. And the king yelled so loud that there was an echo. And suddenly there was a rumble, tumble, bumble, rumble, crash! And down from the mountain came another big boulder, bigger than the first one. So big that it bounded down and it landed smack dab on the first boulder and smashed it into a million bits, and they scattered all over the road, and that great big boulder just bounded right off the road. The king and everyone just stood there in amazement. And then the holy man turned to the king and said, "Who caused that echo?" And the king said, Who must have done it?" Well, the king and Common John and the donkey and the holy man all went back to the palace. And the king sent the commander of the royal forces out to clean up the rocks all over the road. And pretty soon the road was clear and everybody was able to get by again, and the king was happy. But the king never ever again asked, "Who?" But the donkey did go, "Yee-haw!"